Hey guys, Zykic here, and Happy New Year! Hello! I know it's been a while, a long while, actually, and I have no excuses, no legitimate excuses. And I'm gonna be honest, I started this video with actually having a document written down for everything that I wanted to talk about. And then I went back and rewatched my New Year's video from last year, and it's almost exactly the same. So, yeah. I'm not gonna redo this video. I'm gonna just do it in the one take. So if I pause for a second, I do apologize. I'm not upset greatly, at least. I'm a little disappointed in myself for this year, but that comes with a multitude of feelings and But I'll repeat myself a little bit from last year's video. So, I haven't uploaded in a minute, and like last year, I was like, I don't want to apologize for it. I am going to apologize for it this year because I haven't really talked much or kept y'all updated on much of anything reason towards that. Because because what? I don't know. um I have two series going on at the moment. I have Antimatter Chemistry and I have Roguelike Adventures in Dungeons 2. I haven't uploaded Antimatter Chemistry since late September, and Roguelike, which even surprised myself, I haven't uploaded since June. So it's been a while, even though in my head. And I think where I've started this in my little document, if we may go to that, I wanted to talk about some I don't want to say issues. They are issues. I talked about it last year. So, and then since I'm still having the same problems, I guess it would be considered an issue. I do have something called time blindness. Nothing like officially diagnosed, of course. But something I've observed of myself and I've been told by others as well. But it just means I have a difficult time perceiving time and judging time, which kind of I have a hard time knowing how long a task actually takes or realizing how long a task actually takes, and I generally underestimate. Okay, I kind of do both. I over and under depending on what the task is. If if it's something that I perceive as easy, I usually underestimate the time. If it's something that I perceive as hard, I underestimate the time. Over it? I don't know, I think I said that backwards and we're just gonna... Y'all know what I mean, and I hope you do. But generally, I will say most tasks take me a lot. I pause moving. Again, as I said in last year's video, I'm gesturing with my hands, and y'all don't see that. But just imagine. But generally, I'm just unaware of how long a task will actually take me to do, and it just usually takes me a lot longer. So I wanted to tie that into if I have a bit of perfectionism. I'm sure y'all have noticed that, and it just makes it hard for me to want to do things, and like this video. Like I said, I'm not gonna do this more than once. Even though my brain is like restart right now, restart right now. But it's hard for me to start tasks if I feel like that I won't do it correct the first time. Or if I will have to redo it a lot, and so on and so forth. So if you're combining the time blindness with the perfectionism thing, what ends up happening is I just don't want to do anything ever. and I... That's a bad thing. I'm not gonna say it's not a bad thing. It is a bad thing, because it's not just like, like in school, it's like you don't want to do homework, and I was like, well, no one ever wants to do homework. Well, I don't want to do homework, and I also don't want to do anything, fun. Because to me, having fun means doing it perfect, and if I can't do it perfect, I might as well not have fun. Which is not a good way to look at life. I'm just gonna be just blank. Don't do that. And I also have the thing of, because of the time blindness, if it's not a task that I can do in one sitting, so like if I can't read a book in one sitting, if I can't do an episode in one sitting, I have a hard time wanting to go do it because I fear that So I'll do like the first half. And let's say I do that perfectly, everything goes to plan. My fear is if I put that down and then come back, I'm going to forget what I did, or I'm going to forget what I did or how I did it, and then the second half will not be as good. Or if I do just, I'm like, sit down, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do half of this. Well, if the first half ends up being really hard and I like struggle with that, I'm definitely not going to want to go do the second half because the first half was already hard. So it just leaves me just, like I said, not really wanting to do anything, or I get really anxious if I start something and I don't finish it. Um, and if there are any flaws, I don't know why I do this part. Because it's like, so if you have the perfectionism thing, you usually don't want anyone to notice any flaws. I have this weird thing where it's just like, and I do this at work all the time, and I feel so bad for my coworkers. But like, if I do a task, so let's say I was like, I had to go, because I am a pharmacy technician. I'll start out with that. So I work in a pharmacy, I work in a retail pharmacy. And I have the title of inventory specialist, so that's great. But let's say I had to do something simple, like I was like, okay, I have to go through this grouping of drugs and pull out something that's going to expire within like the next month or something, and I missed something. I don't know why, but I have this need to tell people that I'm like, oh yeah, I messed up there, I didn't do this, even when people are like, oh, you did so much work, or you did all of this so great. I'm like, okay, but I have to point out this one thing that I did bad that you're not noticing that I really need you to notice. And I don't know why I do that, because it's just putting me down. It doesn't let me, like, bask in the glory of doing something right, which is like, if you have perfectionism, then what? I don't know. And again, as you saw in this video, it's gonna be Zykic Rambles in the new year again, because that's what I do. So if I end up just repeating myself a lot, or just saying the same thing over and over, or just nothing, if what I end up saying just ends up being a lot of words that mean nothing, that's just, thank you for listening to me, even if it doesn't make sense, is basically what I'm trying to say. And I am trying to follow my little list here because I will get lost. But anyway, I'm just trying to say it's hard for me to do anything, even if it's stuff that I want to do. And with my job, and with, I said this last year, I've been doing a lot of overtime. I think when the beginning of last year I said I was doing a lot of overtime, I did have a break for a couple months just doing normal hours, but I went back and doing the overtime in July, and I've been pretty much doing overtime since. So I've been doing 40 to 50 hours a week. Which, again, I volunteered for, or I'm allowing to happen. I definitely could talk to the people that are in charge of my schedule to lower that if need be, but I have a weird sense of pride in my work, and even though I have my days where I don't want to go to work, I end up feeling better once I do. I think it's a sense of belonging. I'm not sure. It's also a sense of structure for me, because one of the things I do want to talk about later is I don't really have a sense of structure right now, which I think is a big problem. But yeah, I have a hard time wanting to do stuff, is what I'm trying to say. And I have this little list of things that it's like, I didn't realize how long it was since I last done them. Like, if I'm just talk about, like, stuff, like, I in general, not even, like, towards YouTube, I haven't drawn anything since June of 2024, and I do consider myself an artist, and it's like, I haven't realized it's been that long since I've drawn anything. It's been a year and a half. I did not read any books this year, like I promised. I did, technically, I read one book. I read most of it in 2024, and I finished it in February of this year. I haven't read anything since. I've read a cookbook. I don't know if that counts. We're gonna pretend it does. So maybe 2 books. I did make a blanket this year, but I bought enough material for 3 blankets, and one of which I did try to start, but then it was hard, and I didn't want to do it anymore because it was hard. I haven't done any embroidery or cross stitch or anything since 2023, which is a problem because I love doing that. I just have a hard time starting projects, I think, is what it boils down to, maybe. But if we're gonna talk about YouTube in specific, so I like I said, I did pretty much this exact video at the beginning of last year, and I had these plans of how I was gonna do YouTube, and I think originally I promised I was only gonna do 2 videos a month, which would be about 24 videos. I did not achieve that. I did 15. 16 if you count the New Year's video. but I'm not going to. So I've done 15 videos last year, which had me go back into being like, okay, well, I only did 15 videos. It's been a long year. How many videos did I do last year? Um, and that was 44. And that was my first year of full-time working. I did 44. So going down to 15 is not good, especially because I went even further back. In 2023, that's the year I graduated. I did 56 videos. And then the year before that, it was my last full year of college, which arguably for a lot of people is a very busy time of year. That was the year I did the most diverse videos. I did 68 different videos. So I've been declining over the years, but this last year has been like a huge hit into the number of videos that I produce. And I'm very disappointed in myself for that. Even though, like, this isn't my job, this is just a hobby of mine, but it's still something that I'm very passionate about, even if, like, I don't want y'all to think because I don't upload that I'm not wanting to do this by any means, but I really do. I just have such a hard time. Again, the perfectionism thing. I want every video to be like the best video I've ever done, and it's kind of hard to do that, obviously. Especially when you don't have a lot of time to do that. So, and trying to think what my next thoughts would be. Sorry. I also went back and like I was reflecting a little bit on how my series have gone throughout the years, and I was like, well, it occurred to me that a lot of the series I've done in the past have gone unfinished. And as a person that also watches YouTube, I usually don't watch past series people have done. Just in general, I pretty much only like to watch things that are relatively new. I don't know why. I'm not really a binge watcher by any means. But I know for like other people, there's a lot of people that don't like to watch series unless they can binge them. And so I was like, well, I have a lot of series that are unfinished, and if I was a viewer, I would be kind of upset if I started a series and realized that it wasn't ever finished in the end. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back and I'll just mark my playlist as unfinished, or incomplete, I think is what I did. Because I'm not going to go back and finish them. They're just incomplete. If the quest book wasn't finished or if the series was suddenly cut off, and I was like, okay, I've done 38 series, not just of Minecraft, I've done other games than that. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna mark this incomplete, this incomplete. And I was just like, okay, I'm adding more than I thought I would. And I realized literally half of the series I've done have been marked incomplete, which I will argue are not all my fault. There's a lot of series that were ended out of my control. It was either updated and it was just crashed beyond repair, the world corrupted, whatever it may be, and we just couldn't get back. I have had a lot of multiplayer series where friends wanted to change the pack suddenly, whether if it had to do with the pack being laggy or boring or just something better to do. But I've also had time constraints between, like, it's kind of hard to get a lot of people together or record sometimes, so that can end a series as well. But I will say not all of the unfinished series are due to that. Some of them are my fault. My first ever solo series is just because I got overwhelmed. And I was just like, I'm not going to do it anymore. And there have been ones similar like that. But it was like literally half of the series that I've done have gone incomplete. And that's not satisfying to hear whatsoever. And it's like, I want to be better at that. But I think the only way to get better at that is I need to stop putting so much on my plate towards expectations. Because I have that perfectionism trait and I want to get rid of that perfectionism trait, I gotta work with it to a certain degree. And I can't just say, screw everything, just do whatever. Do everything that you can because you can't be perfect if you got too much. Which I think is what I was starting to do, but what ends up happening is that I want to do everything perfect, it gets overwhelming, and then I just don't want to even look at it. So, yeah. Oh, this is gonna be a weirdly depressing episode, isn't it? Y'all are getting into a peek into my brain. And it's a little uncomfortable. I know I'm laughing at it, but darn. Um, yeah. What was my next thing? Yeah, my justification. So, justifications, one, I've been working full time at my job. Also, I moved, finally. I moved back in February into my own place. I moved out of my parents' house. I'm living with my partner, and that's been absolutely wonderful. Um, Living with him, learning how to live with him and live with each other, take care of myself, not having, like, my mom making dinner every night. Like, I gotta figure that stuff on my own. And that's where a lot of my time has been going, because it's like, when you're learning how to cook, recipes take forever. Don't listen to that 45-minute that's all it's gonna take. It'll take you 3 hours if you don't know how to use a knife efficiently. Now, I've gotten better over the years. I just made tacos tonight in 30 minutes. When did I start it? Yeah, we'll say 30 minutes. And that's easy. That's just browning beef and cutting up some vegetables. So, um, I've gotten a lot better at it. Practice makes perfect. Well, not perfect, but better. And that's good. That's all you need. I gotta keep reminding myself that. Um, but yeah, I've had to make an adjustment towards that. And like I said, I've been working overtime since July, so I've been kind of busy trying to not remember to do chores, but like make room for chores. And I don't know if this is a bad habit or a weird habit, because I've talked to my partner about this, and we've got opposite opinions on this. So, I only do chores when it's my day off. And I think it's because my fear is that if I try to do a chore before I have to go to work, I'm either A, gonna not finish the chore because I will otherwise be late to work, or B, be late to work because I finished the chore. um, and I don't like to leave things unfinished, but I also would rather die than be late to work. So he's on the opposite spectrum where he's like, he would only do chores when he's got work because he wants to have his full day off to do whatever he wants to do, which honestly I think makes more sense. And I have a goal to try to squeeze more chores into the days that I work, because I'm not usually doing, like, I don't do all day shifts as much anymore. So like, I'm either off by 6 or I don't work until 11, or like, I do 10-hour shifts. So it's like, my shifts are usually like 11 to 9 or 8 to 6, like somewhere in that range. Sometimes here in like the middle of that, but So it's just like, I want to kind of try to learn how to squeeze in, like, not having to fully do a chore. Like, I have a weird thing where it's like, if I'm gonna do laundry, I'm gonna do all of my laundry, and that's not really necessary all of the time. Especially, it's like, okay, you really just need to do your work clothes. You don't have to do your jeans. You haven't worn jeans in forever. It's fine, sort of thing. Or just like, okay, you can vacuum the house. You don't have to dust everything. Like, especially because, like, I don't know, again, the perfectionism, and it might be a little bit of OCD. We've speculated that. But when I clean something, I clean something. So I have a hard time half-assing something, which I need to learn how to do that more often, because half-assing is better than nothing and is less time-consuming than full-assing. So yeah. So that's just kind of one of my goals. The big thing, which again I mentioned last year, I have a phone addiction, and I don't know how to fix that, because I've tried. I've put limiters in all my apps. The problem is I have a hard time, like, again, it all boils down into some weird fear and anxiety of, like, having nothing to do but something. I don't know. I have limiters on my phone for pretty much all of my apps. And they're either 15-minute timers or 30-minute. And the problem is even though I've set a passcode, I know the passcode to override those things. And it's kind of, I don't have the self-control to not do that. And I don't know how to fix that. Because it's just like, okay, I'll have the moment where I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna I hit my time limit, let's put the phone down, let's go do something else. And it's like, I'll lay my phone down, I will stare off into space, and I'm like, I don't want to start anything. Because it's like, even though I have like hours until I need to either go to bed or go do something else, I'm just like, I'm gonna pick my phone again. It's just so easy to do that. And I hate that it's that easy. And I don't want to be doing that. I will pick up my phone and I'm like, I shouldn't be doing this. And here I am doing anyway. And it's just like, it's so weird that I can't. It's some weird lack of control It's truly an addiction. And it's like, I never wanted to say I was addicted to my phone. I remember when I was younger, I was just like, oh, I'm not addicted to my phone. I've never been addicted. I'm addicted now. That's a problem. It's a problem. I just like, I have my phone next to me now. I'm not looking at it because I'm trying to run around in here and try to give you something to look at, even though I'm looking at the same cave? Trees. Um, eh, it's hard. Hours will slip by, and I've done nothing. um, so we're at 20 minutes into this rambling. How about I tried to talk about some self goals. So just goals in general towards me, and then we'll talk about like hobbies, and then finally YouTube, the important stuff. So for myself, I'm gonna get off my goddamn phone. I'm gonna try to, at least. So I have the limiters on there. I do have a password. I've changed the password. I still know the password, which is unfortunate. And I'm thinking, so I probably should have my partner set the password and just have him know it. The fear, of course, is that if I don't know the password and there is truly nothing to do, what am I supposed to do? And that shouldn't be a fear, because one, there's never truly nothing to do. I have not been in a situation in a long time where I'm like, I'm stuck not being on my phone. The last time has probably been when I'm at the dentist, or if you're at a doctor's office and you're like, you can't leave. Obviously, you can't do anything else at that point. But it's just, that's like, what, once a year for each of those? So it's just like, I probably should do that. Or I was thinking of just having a designated space to put my phone anytime that I'm wanting to do any sort of hobbies or anything like that. Now, when I'm doing chores, I like to have my phone because I like to listen to music, or I like to listen to podcasts. But chores are a little different because I get so self-absorbed into said chore that I'm not scrolling through social media apps or anything like that. I'm literally just listening to music or whatever. It's when it comes to the hobbies, for some reason, I just have that disconnect where it's just like, okay, I'll just go on my phone. I don't need to pull out any yarn right now. I'm just gonna go on my phone. I don't need to play that video game I've owned for 7 years and really, really want to play. I just go and pull out my phone. And again, that's a problem. So I think I'm gonna have my phone designated space. Again, the fear is like, if someone's trying to get in contact with me, how am I supposed to know? Is it gonna be important? And I think that I'm gonna talk to my partner about it, and we're gonna figure out a game plan, because I have a phone addiction and he doesn't. And that's probably the example I need. The other thing is, like I said, I want to do chores on days of work, and I need to give myself permission to not be perfect on everything, and to not have to worry about completing everything in one go. Like, I don't have to deep clean the kitchen every time I clean the kitchen. Just wash the counters. It'll be fine. Like, just something like that. When it comes towards hobbies, I do want to do more hobbies, because if I'm not going to be on my phone, I'm going to have time for hobbies. And it's just like, I want to have things to talk about. I am a very boring person because I'm always on my goddamn phone. I have nothing to talk about ever. So I want to read books. My goal last year was to read 6 books. I'm going to have the same goal this year. That's 1 book every 2 months. They do not have to be huge books. Look at me. I want to read Aragon. That is a big book. I'm not doing that this year. I love Aragon. I'm not doing that this year. I'm going to read small books because it's going to count and be something to ease me in. I'm talking to myself. I know I'm looking at you guys. This video's more of a self-talk thing. I'm crazy. But I feel like that's difficult, or not difficult, shouldn't be difficult to do 1 book every 2 months. I have to give myself permission. I don't have to read the whole book in one sitting. That is a problem that I've had. I can read a chapter or 2 at a time, and that's it. Just do that. It doesn't even, I have a goal on my phone where it's like, read a book for an hour. I don't have to do the full hour. Just read something. Something. Okay. Next thing, crafting hobbies. Like I said, I like to make blankets. I like to do crocheting. I don't do it much, but I like to do it. I like to do cross stitch. I like to do embroidery. I like to do string arts. That sort of stuff is what I like to do. I haven't done it in years, and I have a whole box of stuff. I have yarn sitting at my feet, and have been sitting at my feet for several months. I need to do something with it. But I don't want to make myself too overwhelmed, and I do want to kind of focus on the reading, and I think that the craft arts hopefully will become naturally into my lap. My goal is one craft art. One craft art this year. I have a box. I'm gonna just randomly grab one day, and I'm just gonna do it. And I don't have to do it all in one sitting. No, you don't. You don't have to do it all in one sitting, but at least start it, because once you start it, you'll want to finish it. And you like that stuff, so do it. Okay. So that's it with the self, that's it with the hobbies, and my goal with YouTube. So, again, disappointingly, I've only recorded 15 videos this year. My goal, I'm not setting a number goal, because that would be stupid. But I do want to do more videos than 15. I also want to upload more regularly rather than a series being in June and one in September. I don't think most people want to wait several months to see the next video of Minecraft. At least if I don't have anything to show for it, which I don't. So my goal with YouTube. Now this is gonna break my heart. I'm not gonna cry about it, but I did a little bit earlier when I was thinking about it, but I think it's what the right choice is for me. Look at me. I don't want to do this. But I think for y'all this is the best choice, and I think for me it's the best choice. I have two series. I have Antimatter Chemistry, and I have Roguelike Adventures Dungeons 2. Roguelike Adventures and Dungeons I have not uploaded since June. I have been doing that series the longest at 2 years now. Well, almost 2 years. I think I started it in February of 2024. I have completed basically nothing in that pack. I've done one extra dimension that I have completed. But other than that, I have a castle. A non-functioning castle, because I have a farm. I have done nothing of importance in that pack, really, and I think for the amount of time that pack has gone on, it's not worth continuing. I don't, and this is from, like, a viewer's point of view, I don't think many of you would want to watch a series for 2 years, and my newest thing is I made a farm. A basic-ass farm. So, I think I'm gonna end that series. I loved the pack. Like, I loved Rad 1. I love Rad 2. I just don't think I have the mental capacity to do a pack that big and complicated alongside another pack when I'm not having the time or the structure to do that. Because I don't remember how long Rad 1 took me, but I think I only did that series for so long before I added a second one. I'm not, again, the time blindness. My time blindness, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, is not just I don't know how long ago I did things. It's also I don't know what anything went with anything. Don't ask me. I don't know. I don't know if when I did 2 series at once, I don't know anything. It all happens, and my brain just is like, cool, and throws it away. But yeah, the Rad, I think I'm gonna mark that as incomplete. I'm hoping one day to go back to it as a brand new series where I focus on things a little bit better. I can get a little bit better of a game plan. And Mod Pack Maker Dream, if you're out there, Dreams, Mr. Dreams, I'm sorry. I love your pack. This is nothing against you or anything. This is just my brain is not good right now. But with that, I am, however, going to continue Antimatter Chemistry. I am closer to finishing that pack. I believe I have about 2.5 chapters left. I was successfully able to update that pack. I forgot to mention my computer died in November. My computer died in November. I got a new one for my birthday. So, did have a little bit of hiccups. There was a moment that I thought I lost everything that I absolutely owned, but I do have everything now. I was also able to rescue my Minecraft worlds. All of them. Somehow. But y'all can thank my partner and his brother for me having a new computer and actually being able to record with y'all again, because if I was left to my own devices, I hate computers and looking at computers and how expensive computers are. So it probably would have been a lot longer until I got a new computer if it wasn't for them. And my partner is very passionate about me and what I do. So he was very excited that I was able to record again. Even though he doesn't really watch any of it, he loves that I do it. So because it makes me happy. So y'all can really thank him for me being able to come back. So, um, yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna finish antimatter chemistry. I'm gonna put all my effort into that pack and finishing that. I think I can do it a little bit quicker now that I'm just going to focus on that one. I hope it doesn't disappoint y'all too much about Rad 2. Yeah. It disappoints me, so I'm assuming it's gonna disappoint some of y'all, but it's like I don't think I have the time and mental capacity to focus on more than one series at once. So until I could get my shit together, at least when it comes to the time blindness and the phone addiction and all that crap. um. So yeah, this video does echo last year's video, and that's kind of where my disappointment comes from a lot. Because I had a lot of hopes for this past year, and none of that happened. It didn't do anything. Which I am having a hard time about, to be honest, but I'm hoping this year will be different. I'm hoping I've settled into my apartment. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. My job's not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm supposed to be not working overtime very soon now. um yeah. Yeah. Thank you for dealing with my emotional TED talk. um Recording should happen again soon. So, I'm not going to give any particular times because I don't want to hold myself to any higher expectations than I already do. So, all I got for you is soon. Um yeah. I I love y'all, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.